You better
Okay, you're a rap star, actor, and I can say entrepreneur, and you're starting your own company.
Okay.
How old are you?
Director.
Director?
Videos.
Are you do some of that?
Yes.
How old are you now?
Well, I'm still learning, so we're all babies.
You have a 7-year-old?
No, that's my stepson.
Oh,
But he's a man.
Excuse me, my son bought some of your stuff.
Very positive.
It has some bad words.
That doesn't sound positive. If you get your hand burnt on the stove, bad experience, but it's very positive because you'll never do it again. And that's what my music shows a mirror. You know, like you just showed me a mirror of myself, my hair was messed up. If I show you a mirror and I turn pretty soon, I get my hair together. So that's exactly what I'm doing. Showing you that mirror to get your hair together.
Okay, we're rolling.
Okay,
Q, you know there's a lot of controversy. You got the Newsweek magazine with some of the legal difficulty that some of the rap stars have recently gotten into. I've been trying to do the story for 3 months on ABC, and it wasn't until it starts hitting back that they're interested in doing it. What do you think about the controversy that is now surrounding the music and what appears to be a new backlash against it?
Well, we've always had opposition because we are distributing information, and the big distributors of information don't like when you distribute uncut information, especially to their children.
What do you mean by uncut?
Uncut meaning without going through the censor, that this interview might go through, without being on the editing board, without white people making decisions on what's being heard, and it's nothing but the truth. And I have to remind America that all of these incidents.
Hey, to the real ones. And I just have to ask, what do you think this is all about? What do you think this is all about? Disinformation? These videos, the charge, the inspiration. I mean, we're just talking uncut truth, right? I mean, we're digging on the original man. But how much do you remember of your originality? How much do you remember your ancient ways? Your ancient love song? Your ancient code? How much of it do you remember? I mean, you have to really ask yourself, which wave are you surfing? Whose frequency are you really in? We dig on these things and we do these builds, but what all is it for? Are we talking entertainment? Or are we talking substance? How much do you really remember? What does the term primordial really mean to you? How does that word vibrate in your reality? We're just asking questions. We're just trying to figure out the importance of consciousness to you as the Ethiopian. You should be getting this right about now. Peace to the real ones. You know, we just got done knocking out another episode of The Naturalist, TDR, and it's a trip, you know, because I'm over here just doing what I do best, right? Cutting up the hijack, and you know they want to jam me up. We make a post on the IG, and you know they want to jam us up. They want to freeze us up. You know the real already know. They seeing it, and this is for the real right here. We got a nice little comfy build over at the Patreon. Shalom, much high, much high. And, you know, we have to kick it off like this. We gotta, you know, keep that fire on burn. So, aha to everybody that decided to come through. And, you know, that water is definitely felt over this way. And I had to get on it, you know. So we're digging on the Primordial man. Alright. I'm just trying to figure out how much do you remember of your ancient ways. Because we're just digging on the ancient womb man, on the ancient man. We're just talking about Hawa, which is your Ama, your Abba. You know, they can't jam a real one up. They can try. But the static can only build for so long until it pops. Alright, so we're just digging the ether man. I'm trying to figure out how much do you remember? You know, when we're talking about autogenous, how much do you remember? Do you know that you were stripped away? You know, so many of our people claim to have pride in knowing that they are original, but have no idea what it means to be original. They have no idea what that original skin, pigmentation, that true melanin really means. Yeah, we're just talking about that true melanin. I mean, we're talking about you. The ones that they found here. We're talking about the ones that are still here. But you aren't functioning right. You aren't functioning right because I'm not sure if you're really paying attention. See, I'm not sure if you're really charging up with these bills. I know the wave surfers are. I know the deep scuba divers are. I know my tribe on this ether bus. They are. Do you remember your ancient ways? Some say indigenous, some say aboriginal. I'm talking primordial. I'm talking you. Pure white tide. This is basically a part 2 to what we did on TDR. And we swinging straight into it. You know, when we're talking about solar consciousness and that influenced by the cosmos, and we're talking about true inspiration from the Most High, and we're talking about you in your golden age, as we get back to the golden age, what does it mean? What does it mean to you? Hey, hi to the beautiful tribe, to the beautiful tribes all across the magnetic plane. We're just surfing the wave. Don't mind us. Do you remember? You know, because if you did, I'm pretty sure we would be in the revolution right now. And there's no me without we. So I speak to the we, I speak to the we to speak to me. Shalom to the real ones, we just asking a question. Do you remember? How much do you remember? Do you really know what it means to be melanated? To be of the carbon-based particle? To be of the you melanin, true melanin, that good melanin. My good folks with the rich souls, we just talking about you. Shalom, peace, peace to the real ones. Hey, hi to everybody over here at the Patreon. We're just trying to figure out how much willpower do you have to really keeping this code, to really cracking the ceiling, breaking through the barrier. Alright, we're just talking about the autochthons, the autochtons, because you are what your ancestors are. Alright, quiet as cat. There's a difference between the autochthons, the autochtons, and the indigenous. There's a difference between the autochtons and the indigenous. And all my real ones know that. Alright? We're just talking about the original man. We're just talking about you. So peace, peace, we're gonna get to it. Hey, hi to the real ones, and we're gonna dig on it. Alright, so here we have the etymology to will. Because we're trying to figure out how much willpower do you possess. We're just trying to figure out what is your desire, your wish. What are you really about? What are you willing to get out of this life, this understanding? Do you wish or desire to know who you are? Is your mind, your mental capacity, your mental consciousness able to conceive such a thought, to imagine such a possibility? Do you not understand that you are the marvel? No, we're just talking about one's determination, the mind. How strong is your mind, your determination, your purpose, your joy to request? You know, because we're just trying to let you know how important you really are. How important it is for us to magnetize above the static. Alright, so, you know, we're just asking this simple question. Alright? Because when we dig on the word marvel, a miracle. A marvel is a miracle. And when we look up miracle, we get a wondrous work of Hawa. A wondrous work. That's a wondrous work. A marvelous sight. A marvelous event. The most amazing wonder. You are the marvel. You are a marvel. You are marvelous. For you are a miracle. Your miracle is proven by your pigmentation. It's funny because I don't think you realize. You know, but we're going to get into it just for you. Alright? Your determination possesses a miraculous marvel. And everybody's wondering when you're going to shine your light. Alright? So we're just digging on Primordial, which is the being or pertaining to the source or beginning. First of all, original. A beginning, the beginning, origin, the commencement. Primus, the first. Ordery, to begin, as in order, the first in order. So primordial is a compound word between prime and order. You are the prime order. Hawa. We keep the code of the prime order. We are in the code of the prime. Alright? The earliest existing from the beginning. The earliest existing from the beginning, the primordial energy. That is you, the miracle. Right? The marvel. Right? You're the people that everyone wonders about. You are the surprise. Right? A wonderful act. A wonderful act. A wondrous work of Hawa. as the primordial original creation. Alright, and this ties directly to you because when you're talking about the autochthonous ones, alright, when we're talking about the ones who were found here, right, when we're talking about you, we're just talking about the primordial ones, the original ones. Let's dig on it. The beginning. The origin. Alright. Talk time. One sprung from the soil he, she inhabits. From the Latinized form of Greek, a Talk-Tom, Aborigines native, primitive inhabitants. Literally sprung from the land itself. Used of the Athenians who claimed descent from the Pelasgians. Alright, self-generated from the land, the earth, the soil. Alright? And it's crazy because it's tied to Aboriginal. Right? Aboriginal being the earliest existing from the beginning. Alright? So we see how a Talk-Tom connects, to Aboriginal, and Aboriginal connects to the beginning. All right, and I had to hunt this down. And it used to be up a while ago. It used to just be up. And now it's like everything that we done, in the past, which is a good thing why we haven't recorded and posted it. But they're done doing everything. I mean, even definition, right? It says formed or originating in the place where found. Alright? Formed or originating. We're talking about autochthonous. Right? It says ancient Athenians considered their ancestors the primordial. There's that word, right? Primordial inhabitants of their land, as if sprung from the very soil of the region they inhabited. Their word for any true-born Athenian, a Talk-Tom, itself springs from auto, meaning self, right? And Chiton, or Tom, meaning earth. Alright, so we're talking about primordial inhabitants. Alright. We're just talking about you as the ancient one. That's why I'm asking. How much of you do you remember? How much of this wata are you really soaking in? Alright? We're gonna continue to break it down. But, I'm just talking to my autogenous ones. Alright? I'm just talking to the ones who are primordial, formed and originating in the place where found. Alright, and last time I checked, you were found right here in America as the copper-colored races. Alright, and as we dig on the primordial ones, it's all about you. At the highest level of their metaphysical, esoteric lesson, it's you, the primordial man. Alright, we're just talking about Adam. This specific Adam. Talking about the primordial one. The supreme man. Alright, the supreme man. We're talking about the supernatural. Alright. It says in Kabbalah, Adam Kadmon is the first spiritual world that came into being after the contraction of Hawa's infinite light. Alright. It says Adam Kadmon is not the same as the physical Adam. Alright, just like how everybody wants to say that there's a difference between the Adam created in the garden and the one before the garden. Nonetheless, we're just talking about the primordial one. We're talking about the original man. They're saying heavenly, I'm going to say the etheric, one of the Shamayim. Alright? As being born in the image of Hawa. The primordial one. Alright, and that image would be melanin, what we're referring to in these days and times as melanin. You melanin to be exact. And we'll talk about the connection it has to your neuromelanin. Alright, your neuromelanin is what turns on your your transmissions. You're able to transmit by way of neuromelanin. Alright, it's like an antenna, a receiver. Alright. And that melanin, when truly understood, is an intelligence of its own. Alright, and the qualities that it has is in unison, direct unison with the creator, but you have to be within the code, within the water. Alright. We're just talking about the original. Alright. So, they hop to the real ones. You know, we're just asking how much you remember, how much you're tapped in. Alright. As we go ahead and build on this primordial man. As we build on the autogenous. Alright. So peace to you. We're gonna catch the next one. Hey,
here. Notice the head of the man in Aries. There's Aries. Taurus is pointing to here. Gemini is pointing to the arms. When you put the man there, and the man in the sky is Adam. Adam Kadmon in Jewish Kabbalah. Adam Kadmon is this man here, Aries, the arms, the chest, the heart, the belly. Virgo's the belly. That's why you got any Virgos here. You probably noticed they have a nice little pot belly. My father's a Virgo, he's got his pot belly. He's always had his belly. We'd always laugh at him. Well, it turns out, well, he's a Virgo. You're a muscly Virgo. But no, that's it. Arians have got prominent heads. Hence my buffet. But they do. Taurians got thick necks. I've picked Taurians by their neck. In fact, once I couldn't, well, I did guess this Taurian, and he said, I'm the one with the thick neck. And then it's, oh, okay, that's Taurus. Now, how did he know to say that? He doesn't know this. He didn't know this, I know that. But he said, we have the thick necks. You see how things are getting around? Expressions? Yes. Have a look at your Sagittarian friends. They've got these, the males, they've got these big thighs. Have a look at Geminis, their long arms, or the way they move their arms. It's amazing. Their arms are like air. Have a look at the Leos, get around like, you know. And then the Cancerians, because they're summer. It's hot. No, this is how it works. Aries are the babies of the zodiac. Why are they the babies? Well, that's the sun is a baby here. He's a little boy. And he's climbing because he has to climb the mountain to get to his enthronement. And the enthronement is always here on the summer solstice because that's when the sun is the biggest. Just like his bride, the bride, Mary Magdalene. New moon, full moon. That's the glory of the moon, that's the bleeding of the moon. In the menstruation cycle, that's where the bleeding happens. New moon. That's your cycle, ladies. It takes 14 days for the egg to mature, and if it's fertilised at this point, you'll have a son or child. 207 days later. Otherwise, 14 days later, it'll bleed. That's the new moon. You can't see it because it's in between you and the sun, so you can't see the new moon. But you can see that one because that is always opposite the sun, the full moon. Always. When the sun is setting in the west, then you'll see the full moon coming up in the east. They have to be. So, the sun's enthronement is here. Ra. Horus, Ra, Set. Wow, interesting. The war of Set, Horus and Set. Cain and Abel, Jacob and Esau, all the twins in the Bible. Jesus and Satan. Satan rules Capricorn. Satan kills Jesus because Jesus, this is cardinal fire, this is fixed fire where the sun lives, the sun rules Leo, and this is mutable fire, Sagittarius. So the fire cycle, of which there is none in this quadrant here, is killed by Saturn. He is the killer on the 21st of December, which is Saint Tammuz Day, and Tammuz is Osiris, and Osiris is Saturn, the brother of Jesus, the son, who kills him. See how it works? It's amazing. It's scary to think that they've literalized this story. It's pure poetry of the heaven. So, you see, we have March the 21st here, we have June the 21st, Prince William's birthday, December the 21st, and September the 21st. Everything starts here. Everything. Remember, it's the head. It's where the fractal begins. It all starts with cardinal fire, because cardinal fire is the first part of the fire. Cardinal is the beginning signs. They are the door openers. Cardinal in Latin means hinge. When the sun passes those days, it crosses over those days, or passes over. That's why there are 4 crucifixions in the Bible: Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. because they are cross-fictions, crossovers. The sun is crossing over. It's being crucified on the cross of matter. What's that the symbol of? Earth. The symbol of the earth? Oh, okay. Do you think they knew something? It's this science. It all goes back to the science. That's the symbol for the sun. Okay? Target. Just you watch how many symbols of those Illuminati corporations have to do with the sun. I'll show you, it's going to scare you. It's scary. It really is scary what they're doing subliminally. What I've done here is I've basically made that bigger, that graph that we had in the first one, right? There's the Tropic of Cancer, and there's the Tropic of Cancer.
Remember how we was digging on that natal chart, right? In the drop for the Ethiopian. Go back and get it. I think it's part 3. We're digging on the Ethiopian, and I open up with the natal chart. Well, here you go. Told you it was all tapped in and it's interlinked. Yeah, man, it's crazy how it all comes back, right? It's a lovely flow. We're gonna, let this go a little bit more. Peace, peace.
You understand what I've done? So there's your summer, and there's your winter, your good and your evil. Remember, we had hell down here, inferno. Okay? Now, first thing I want to bring to your attention here, I'm gonna wrap 7 wheels around here. I'm gonna wrap the body of the man. The head is always here. And then the Pisces touch the back of the head, immutable, water, thick cardinal fire. This is the starting line. And I'll show you why. Now, interesting. Fire in the head. Water in the feet. We are a magnet. We are a magnet. We're magnetic. And with, obviously, the fire must connect to the air. The fire in the head of Aries, to the air above the head, as the philosophers say. And the water in Pisces is always connecting to the earth. That's the magnetic polarization. Okay? That's how you've got to see. So I'm going to wrap the body around here, and I'm going to show you how all the stars, Taurus has always got its 3 other constellations. Orion is in here. Orion, the famous Orion, the Lamb of God that fights with the dragon. There's a red star in Scorpion, that's the dragon. Every opposition, that's Herod and John the Baptist, that's the Lamb, and that's the fiery dragon, the 4 fixed points. Check these oppositions. There's a reason they're there. Alright? There's a reason why Libra is the opposite of Aries. They both have to do with equinoxes, and you'll see why. There's a reason why Cancer has a unicorn in it, opposite to the Capricorn. The corns that are there, the unicorn, which is also the Cancer, the crab, and the scarab, the beetle, is also here. Just like here we have the eagle and the serpent and the scorpion, here we have 3 animals also. In these 2 signs. One of them is the unicorn opposite the Capricorn, because these are the corns, the solstices. Right? Now, Orion is here. What you're going to notice as we go through the body is all those stars correspond with the stars in your body. So it's all the same thing. No, they're not the deacons, but everyone has, for instance, in Gemini, you've got Canis Minor and Canis Major belong to this sector. Here in Aries, I think you've got Perseus is in here. Perseus is one of the stars, but there's the 36 outer constellations, right, along with the constellations of the zodiac. There's 36 of them, so you need to know those ones too. You don't need to know them, but as you learn, you realise Orion is in there. It's important to know that Orion is in, and you'll see why later. Okay, but I'm going to wrap the body around here. In a minute, we're going to do the agricultural year, and we're going to see if those signs. We're going to pay attention and see if any of those signs happen to correspond with the planets, with the seasons below. I wonder why the bull is there in April. Let's see if we can work this out. I'm going to wrap 7 of these wheels around this, and you will see the tarot is here. The tarot is the 12 cards. There's 22 cards in the tarot, and the 10 bodies, including the Earth, Uranus, and Neptune. This is what the tarot is based on, guys. Kabbalah is in here. The Hindu system is in here. The Mayan system is in here. Everything is in here. Right? The tarot, which comes from the Torah, which means the wheel. This is the Torah. This is it.
Which means the will. Alright? Which means the will. And if you remember anything within these drops that we've been talking about, is these wills. Alright? The Merkabah. Which is how I got on this in the first place. So we're going to get that back real quick because we're in the ether right now. We are live in the ether right now. Shout out to the bro. We getting it double time. Let's go.
This is what the tarot is based on, guys. Kabbalah is in here. The Hindu system is in here. The Mayan system is in here. Everything is in here. Right? The tarot, which comes from the Torah, which means the wheel. This is the Torah. This is everything. It's Aphrodite's belt. It's King Arthur and the Round Table. There's 12 knights. That'd be Lancelot. Or the guy with the spear. Sagittarius would be Lancelot.
Alright, so now we're building on mental body. You know, we're talking about that consciousness. Alright? And we're talking about this consciousness because it's through this neuromelanin, alright, that you get neurotransmissions. And these neurotransmissions are solar consciousness, alright, which comes directly from the sun. And you being a person of melanin, that's intensely important because your whole structure as far as pigmentation is in direct function with receiving this information. Alright, and I know it goes over a lot of people's heads because, trust, they're not even tapped into the level of the frequency, but once you do, there's no ever way you can sit down to be normal again. You have to embody this shit, and then once you embody it, you begin the electrical charge. You start to charge up. Like the bro Uno used to always say, he'd be like, natural nigga, you gotta charge up. And it's like, damn, that's the coldest it's gonna get. Alright? As the primordial one, alright, it's all about the consciousness. It says the mental body, the mind, is one of the subtle bodies in the esoteric philosophies. In some religious teachings and in New Age thought, it is understood as a sort of body made up of thoughts. Just as the emotional body consists of emotions and the physical body is made up of matter. In occult understanding, thoughts are not just subjective qualia, but have an existence apart from the associated physical organ, the brain. Alright? So I made a mention a while ago, especially when we were digging on the ether, that the mind is separated from the brain. And it's also interesting to make mention that as we were digging on amber was ambergris, right? The etymology was ambergris, and this ambergris was what? A grayish matter, right? But when we're digging on the brain in itself is a grayish matter. I find that highly interesting. Alright? So we're talking about your solar consciousness. that which can be picked up by, the so-called sun. And this can only happen by way of the primordial man. Because of the U-melanin. The U-melanin activates the nervous system, and the nervous system controls your neuromelanin, which increases your neurotransmission. Alright? Imagine a satellite, but that's what your third eye for, the pineal gland, creates this opening to receive it. Alright? That's what we're digging on. Alright, so peace to the real ones. I'm just trying to, give you some clear, tangible substance to dig on. Alright, it says, Samuel on War stated that only those who have worked consciously to do so have created a mental body. A solar mind or a solar mental body is the quality of mind of a true human. Yet it is stated that this humanity is not composed of true humans, but rather intellectual animals, beings with a mind of an animal, with reasoning superior to that of other animals. You hear this shit? Alright, and we already broke down U-melanin. And U-melanin means true melanin. So you are the true human, my primordial ones. Alright, you are the marvel, or marvelous ones. Which is why we do this, because you are not the animal. You are womb-born, not egg-born. Though you come from your mama's eggs. It was fertilized by the seed that came from your powwow, your faja, your abba. Alright? It says, according to War, the qualifications to being a real human being is identical to the lowest requirements of being a Buddha. Again, which is you, especially in image. It says the process of acquiring the mind of a human in this sense involves a psychological death of the I, desire, and the work of practical sexual alchemy. More explicitly stated, the title of Buddha is achieved through the fourth initiation of major mysteries, when the fourth serpent of fire, Kundalini, has risen. And we're just talking about your melanin. Alright? Real shit. We're talking about that carbon substance. Check the Instagram right now. It's on fire. Alright? Peace to the bros. Alright, so when we're talking about the primordial being, and we're talking about true melanin, which links you up to being a true human. I mean, not even, right? I don't even want to use that term, but you're not the animal. You're the furthest thing from it. Alright? So, you activate your solar consciousness from the neuromelanin, which transmits your thoughts from that gateway, that portal. And when you're in tune with the code, with the Most High, it becomes pure water. And He begins to move you. Alright? And that's what we're digging on. But I'm not sure if you're aware, even to the capability, to the highest extent, on what this does. On what this means. So we come to build on it. Let's go. Peace, peace.
Welcome one more day to Space and Harmony. I hope you enjoyed the Scottish piece on the Irish flute. It's just a little fragment, but it's very relaxing, especially in this environment. It's around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and the sun is very comfortable. It's not too hot. And today I'm going to speak about something related to the sun, to the atmosphere, to the spirit, to solar consciousness, as the beginning of something in us. Because we have to develop, grow as a primordial body which is not created and is immortal, is emanate from the tree of life, the original reality. But we have to transcend our physicality, our psychological and even spiritual dimensions, which are actually the focus in other teachings which are incomplete. This has been basically the aim of this channel, to connect all the links, to understand all traditions and go beyond, developing the tree of life in us, which is our true being. So we have to understand how the lower bodies that we have somehow are the origin of many confusions. If you remember, we saw 7 layers of density, and these layers can be somehow comprised in a few bodies. We have the physical body, which is obviously mortal, and it's useful to live, exist in this 3D and 4D dimension. And somehow it's the support for other bodies. Don't worry if you don't get all the details. I'll write all this in the blog where I live. More extends, say, but understand that apart from the physical body, there is what ancient alchemists called the astral body, because they knew it is formed out of elements from the sun, the moon, the planets, especially the earth. But not everyone has the astral body developed in the same degree.
Alright, he said not everybody has this capability. And this is what we want to touch on, because you as the primordial womb man, primordial man, the originals, you can do this and so much more. Alright, and these folks understand this about you, and it's studied at the most highest esoteric form. But you don't care enough about yourself to even want to tap into this, because you don't understand what it means to have your pigmentation. You just think that it's black. And when anyone does try to speak on it, you know, you guys automatically tune us out, which is insane, because you're under some type of hypnosis. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy. It's crazy. It's a piece to the cons, those who are conscious. We're going to bring that back and continue on. Peace, peace.
Somehow it's the support for other bodies. Don't worry if you don't get all the details. I'll write all this in the blog where I live. More extends, say, but understand that apart from the physical body, there is what ancient alchemists called the astral body, because they knew it is formed out of elements from the sun, the moon, the planets, especially the earth. But not everyone has the astral body developed in the same degree. The astral body covers the energetic layer, the psychological and emotional layer, and the mental and intuitive layer. And obviously not everyone has developed these layers in the same way. Some people have a very good mental intuitive layer, and they have some command over the astral body. They can even project the astral body to other places and teach. That's known as bilocation. Some teachers and saints have been found in two places at the same time.
And when you dig on the show Magicians, I wouldn't necessarily recommend that shit to just anybody. It's really with the bullshits, especially for these modern times. But they have a lot of information, and they sneak a lot of the drop in there. And there's this guy who goes by the name of Penny, and he happens to be a traveler, and he can move basically in and out of dimensions as he pleases. But if he's not able to control it, he ends up somewhere else. I find it interesting because they used a East Indian person, someone of so-called Hindu descent, maybe, and they're referring to the fact that he has strong melanin, that he was capable of doing this. They also showed someone else later down the season, or later in the seasons, that this student of his was able to do it too, and she also was of melanin. So it was just crazy how sneakily they throw it in there, for those who are really aware of the science. And this is the true drop right here, all right? But you being tapped into your neuromelanin within your eumelanin, you're able to override all of these spectrums because melanin is constantly absorbing it all. I mean, constantly absorbing it all, just like a so-called black hole. It's just taking it all in. And then you have that capability to convert it by way of heat and pressure into something beautiful, which is why our ultimate signification or transformation is that of the butterfly. But it's been hijacked now into showing how they use the butterfly as a display and control over the mental capacity of the mind by way of altering personalities and giving them disorders to create new ones that are dissociated with the soul and spirit. Basically a golem. So peace to the real ones as we try to get you to tap in on your primordial original powwow, that which is you.
Especially the earth. But not everyone has the astral body developed in the same degree. The astral body covers the energetic layer, the psychological and emotional layer, and the mental intuitive layer. And obviously not everyone has developed these layers in the same way. Some people have a very good mental intuitive layer, and they have some command over the astral body. They can even project the astral body to other places and teach. That's known as bilocation. Some teachers and saints have been found in two places at the same time. And even when you have an astral body in a certain degree, you can talk with friends, people in the distance. Some people told me that they spoke with me in dreams. And I think in many cases they are not dreams, they are actual conversations while our bodies are sleeping, our physical bodies. And it's very interesting to notice that the astral body is always younger because it somehow absorbs the imprint of the person since the very first time it starts to crystallize. But it's not immortal. It's mortal. Sometime after the death of the physical body, the astral body dies. Now there is an even deeper body known as the causal body, which is full of roots, impressions, causes that trigger thoughts, views, behaviors. And this is why therapists and many teachers try to access this region of the unconscious in order to know certain roots of traumas, past life events, and even aspects of wisdom which remain in this layer. And this is also known as the Akashic registers, because Akasha in Sanskrit is space. In India, the astral body was known as Shukma Sharira, which is subtle body, and the causal body was known as Karana Sharira. In total, these layers, the astral and causal would be part of the Merkaba, the chariot, spiritual chariot in Hebrew wisdom. But there is an even deeper layer, as we saw, which is the sixth. Now, before going into that, notice that many people access the causal layer and they experience blissfulness. They experience certain peace and serenity, and they think that's all. That's the aim of life. And this is very dangerous because the spiritual path cannot stop there. It's just the beginning. And this is precisely the sort of deception experienced by people that take power plants to access deep regions of the spirit or get caught into meditation to acquire enlightenment. I have practiced a lot of meditation and it was useful to calm down and access memories. Meditation before sleeping is very useful for that. You can remember the dreams better and receive more insights.
So again, we're trying to figure out how much it is do you remember about you. Okay, since I started this channel, I've been coming into the season of remembrance because we are in the season of remembrance. If you're getting that TDR drop, if you're about to get it, this is, like I said, part 2 to what we just did over there. All right, we are live in the ether right now. Shout out to the real ones. Okay, because we're touching on this right now. But we're magnetizing the entire flow and we're putting it out at all levels because basically we're done fronting with those who aren't trying to learn. All right, and we're about to ascend. And we're leaving behind, everyone that's not willing to catch up. All right, that's the fourth wave. We about to check out. The price is way up. All right, the price is way up. And if you're not willing to even understand what it means to be a so-called melanated person and why they really have you trapped, you're not willing to be about any revolution unless you're talking about spinning on the ball. All right. So, let's keep this in mind and, let's pay attention because as we break these things down, especially when we're talking about remembrance and how to do it, these are ways to how to do it. All right. To get to know your melanin, to get back in contact with that. Because the ancients mastered this. Okay. We broke down the pyramidal structure and its relation to the molecular structure. We broke this down and we're touching on it. All right. So I hope you're taking notes. I don't want no one asking, what did natural do for this? How did natural help when I'm giving you the tools right here and we can talk about it. Let's build. I love talking about melanin. We can build on it. If y'all need help, let me know. Reach out. We can get classes going. You know what I'm saying? This is what this for, especially on the Patreon. All right. And the pledges is coming through, man. Shout out to the real ones. Y'all coming through. I'm getting alerts right now. Matter of fact, we're going to do a little dedication video for everyone that, popped up. All right. But let's get it. Peace, peace.
Life. And this is very dangerous because the spiritual path cannot stop there. It's just the beginning. And this is precisely the sort of deception experienced by people that take power plants to access deep regions of the spirit or get caught into meditation to acquire enlightenment. I have practiced a lot of meditation and it was useful to calm down and access memories. Meditation before sleeping is very useful for that. You can remember the dreams better and receive more insights because you somehow cultivate attention and expand consciousness. So obviously this has an effect, but it's necessary to go beyond. And I don't recommend power plants. Relaxing music therapy can be very useful, to access these layers. Some people try to access the sixth layer consciously, which is the purest spirit known in ancient traditions by many names, but there is one name which is across all traditions almost, and this is the Atman, Adam, Atom. In Hebrew tradition, Adam is the soul of humanity, and when it was put in the Garden of Eden, a dimension of growth, it received the Nishmat Haim, which is the life of the divine mind. So, in the beginning, it was conscious, it was full of light, but as you know, it was split because it incarnated into different species, and therefore this consciousness of life split up and became reflected into mind and emotions, man and woman. And the woman became identified with the energy of the serpent. So the woman became Hava, mother of all the living creatures with psyche. And the same story was told in India when they wrote that Atman and Jiva were birds on the same tree, but the Jiva began to eat from the fruit of the tree and forgot completely about Atman. Because it was that psychological empirical self that forgot about the pure consciousness of light, which is pure spirit. That's the Atman. Atmospheric are two words related, because in Greece it was known as well. It's part of the ether. And it's a consciousness that comes from the sun. And it's lightly reflected on the 5 lower layers, which comprise the physical body, the astral body, and the causal body. But the Jiva, or the Hava, Eve, is not real in itself. The true real consciousness is somehow the spirit. However, that's not the ultimate reality. It's the beginning. This is a realization that expanded my mind. The mind of the Messiah began to teach me in a different way, because I thought, like many others, that the ultimate reality was this pure consciousness, but this pure consciousness needs a support, needs the body. But in ancient religions, they worship solar consciousness, Adamic consciousness, which is somehow foreign on this.
Okay, so you heard what he said. He said solar consciousness is attached to Adamic consciousness. Alright, which is why we're all getting back to this now as a primordial man. Alright, because we're trying to get you back to that. He said it's fallen. It's only failed because those with the possession of it can't tap into it because they believe there's something they're not. They believe they're this black inactive substance. And they don't understand that there's so much more. Alright? This is what we're digging on it. Go back and get that episode out TDR. It's going to be on replay. Ask the bro for a replay. Hit up his YouTube on any of his videos and be like, I need that natural replay. Get it now, because we are breaking it down.
However, that's not the ultimate reality. It's the beginning. This is a realization that expanded my mind. The mind of the Messiah began to teach me in a different way, because I thought, like many others, that the ultimate reality was this pure consciousness, but this pure consciousness needs a support, needs a body. But in ancient religions, they worship solar consciousness, Adamic consciousness, which is somehow foreign and distorted. The spirit of the world became the soul of the world. And this gave rise to many mysticisms and religions. In Egypt, they spoke of Atum. Akhenaten, the third Akhenaten, established the religion based on worship to Atum, which was represented like the sun with rays coming, because it's this vital consciousness coming from the atmospheric consciousness, you might say. In Greece, they spoke of to on, that which is, the consciousness that links all senses. On was also a name for the sun in Heliopolis, the temple of the sun in Egypt. So there is no coincidence there. And obviously, many philosophers also wonder about the transcendental self, which is this consciousness spirit. But this has a source, a primordial source. We cannot say we are the absolute or we are God, just because we realize this consciousness in ourselves. In India they say Atman is Brahma, the creator mind. And in a sense that's true. But then they say Atman is Brahman, the absolute. And this is a mistake, because we are just in the beginning of the path. The man and the woman were naked in the garden, and consciousness, the spirit, is also naked because it needs a primordial body, the primordial body of the original man, Adam Karmon, which is the mediator between the lower worlds and the infinite reality. I don't want to call it God because it's beyond anything we can call God or world or divine. It's beyond concepts. But the Adam Karmon, the primordial man, is a mediator with the spirit, soul, and body.
And that's you in etherical form. That's you right now in this melanin. And this is what they remember you doing. Okay, you had these capabilities to unify the consciousness of what he would refer to as Hawa, right? But he said it's too great. That light is too great. You just heard him. He said that light is too great. Okay, but you are the mediator. All right, and it's up to you to come back into remembrance, to capture yourself. Peace, peace.
Which is the mediator between the lower world, say, we are the absolute or we are God, just because we realize this consciousness in ourselves. In India they say Atman is Brahma, the creator mind. And in a sense that's true. But then they say Atman is Brahman, the absolute. And this is a mistake, because we are just in the beginning of the path. The man and the woman were naked in the garden, and consciousness, the spirit, is also naked because it needs a primordial body, the primordial body of the original man, Adam Karmon, which is the mediator between the lower worlds and the infinite reality. I don't want to call it God because it's beyond anything we can call God or world or divine. It's beyond concepts. But the Adam Karmon, the primordial man, is a mediator with the spirit, soul, and body. And the body must grow within ourselves as the primordial link, rescuing all the atoms of light and life that somehow are trapped or unrealized in ourselves. And this is what...
And see, and this is what, being an Israelite is really all about. It's not to necessarily light up the world, but as we begin to light up by charging up, we provide a light for those who can't see, as little miniature lights and little spokes of the greater light. No doubt. All right. You can hear he's getting on it. I mean, this dude is pretty on it. You know, he even said that the light was too much. You gotta respect it for what it is, alright? Hoa, hoa.
Of the original man, Adam Kadmon, which is the mediator between the lower worlds and the infinite reality. I don't want to call it God because it's beyond anything you can call God or word or divine. It's beyond concepts. But the Adam Kadmon, the primordial man, is a mediator with a spirit, soul, and body. And the body must grow within ourselves as the primordial link, rescuing all the atoms of light and life that somehow are trapped or unrealized in ourselves. And this is what we have to be expanding in the following sessions, because some people have asked, and this is precisely the teaching of issue, the manifestation of the primordial man. However, we have to transcend the old philosophical, religious, mystical, and even Kabbalistic views, because they are incomplete. In most Kabbas, they still speak of the tree of life having 10 spheres, and they focus just on the 4 worlds, and they forgot about the 5th, Adam Kadmon.
Because when we're talking about, you know, those who are doing the deciphering, they tap out at the 4th chakra, at the 4th, you know, light spectrum. They're not able to go to the 5th, and he's realizing that. But you can, my naga. You can go to the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 12th, and 13th, to the zenith. Alright, all the way to the tippity tip. But they cap out, man. They cap out at 4, level 4, right? Which is why when you go to prison, you tap out at level 4. You understand what's going on? These niggas are stuck, 440. Alright, they're not seeing the 432. Alright, they're stuck. They're tapped out. They can't go nowhere. It's all cap for them. Alright? And we're getting that breakdown right now on TDR. So if I was you, that's where I would be. Peace, peace.
It's a mediator with the spirit, soul, and body. And the body must grow within ourselves as the primordial link, rescuing all the atoms of light and life that somehow are trapped or unrealized in ourselves. And this is what we have to be expanding in the following sessions, because some people have asked, and this is precisely the teaching of issue, the manifestation of the primordial man. However, we have to transcend the old philosophical, religious, mystical, and even Kabbalistic views, because they are incomplete. In most Kabbas, they still speak of the tree of life having 10 spheres, and they focus just on the 4 worlds, and they forgot about the 5th, Adam Kadmon, which is basic in other Kabbalah, but they still miss the teaching of issue, which was an expression of Adam Kadmon on earth, and he showed the way. So he had the original light. Therefore, we have to understand what he meant when he said that the woman had 10 coins and she lost 1. That 1 was the Malkut, which is the physical world which was destroyed. And gracias. Gracias. And this took place in pre-Adamic times, and that physical world was reorganized, and that's why the soul of humanity was put into the Garden of Eden, but it fell, and it couldn't reorganize everything, and the woman was still lost. The life of the physical world was lost. The woman was the 10 spheres, but she came from a primordial source. She was just part of the primordial man. Therefore, the woman needs the primordial man in order to be rescued. She is in need of the divine will, divine conscience. And it's necessary to understand what all this means in ourselves, outside ourselves. The woman is the universe, the intelligence of the universe. Some people speak of the divine mother, and the architects of which I have spoken in this channel are part of that divine woman. The existential verb, the so-called Lord God, try to reorganize and integrate the worlds into the primordial source, but some of the Elohim, some of the architects fell and raped the life of the woman. So we cannot just rely on what is known as God or Divine Mother. It's important to respect her, to recognize that she is part of our being, and our physical bodies are part of her, and we have to go beyond. And this is going to be the subject of the following days. We need to understand what is the Son of Man in ourselves, and the Son of Man, different ideas, which I will expand in the blog. I'll leave an article. And we have to remember that the mind of the Messiah has to grow in ourselves in order to rescue and be connected to the tree of life, the true reality. But our consciousness needs a support, the true support, not the energy of the serpent, which was the false support. Many of the masters of wisdom created a spiritual body for consciousness, but it was made up of the energy of the serpent, and this is why it was still fallen. So we need a primordial body. But as I say, this is going to be a subject for the following days. If you are interested, tell me. And meanwhile, thank you very much for listening with loving attention, and blessings of unconditional love and modified life, primordial conscience, and blissful infinite.
So as we get back into the remembrance of this primordial man, this one who is connected to the ether, alright, the body of the original man, we're talking about you, alright, we're talking about you, and the pressure's on you because you are here to be refined, you are here to evolve, alright. You are here to tap into that solar consciousness, which is of the sun. This is all about you. Alright? And until you activate, the earth plane won't activate. And she needs you just like I need you. And we need you just like we need each other. So as we develop on this primordial man, which is the original creation, the mediator to the Most High Hova, that which can decipher the greater light, we begin to rebuild our way back to peace. So now do you see and remember? Now do you see yourself as a primordial? I hope that this jogged a little something for you, and I hope you're getting that drop wherever it's dropping. Ahab to the pledges. Ahab to everybody surfing the wave. And we be getting at y'all real soon. All right. Peace, peace.